What's up, everyone? Hello. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show presented by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. I'm happy that the Eagles have Pro Bowlers. I'm happy that I love this Philadelphia Eagles team. I absolutely love them. Listening to the guys talk about making Pro Bowls yesterday, listening to the guys like Cam Jurgens talk about how Jordan Mailata was snubbed. You didn't make the Pro Bowl. Go stub your toe. Was snubbed and not making the Pro Bowl. I don't understand how like Pro Football Focus all year could be like, you're the greatest offensive lineman ever, but not a Pro Bowl. That kind of makes Pro Football Focus take a little bit of a hit reputation-wise. Cam Jurgens had some fun with it yesterday just in terms of like they do some bad grades and they do some good grades, whatever. But Jordan Mailata is a Pro Bowler. And it's like not even just in my mind. It's in everyone's mind, with the exception of a few people that blew it by not putting him in the Pro Bowl. With that being said, Jordan Mailata could not have handled himself better yesterday while addressing the media. First off, addressing the media at all. It's a big W for him because some guys, they didn't want to talk about it. But he had an opportunity to do two things that I just absolutely love. One was talking about how happy he was for Lane Johnson and Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson and Jalen Carter and Zack Baun and how happy he was for those guys to make Pro Bowls. The other was to tell us flat out that it sucked that the decision was made to not play Saquon Barkley against the Giants to go for Eric Dickerson's 40-year record. I love that part of it. Now, I'll let you hear him. He said it, it wasn't even tongue-in-cheek, but he just said it like, yeah, I know it's a tough decision to make, and Nick had to make the tough decision for Saquon. We had to have a tough conversation. So he acknowledged he was one of the people that Nick Sirianni came to speak to. Spoke to the offensive line, spoke to the coaches, went all the way up to Jeffrey Lurie, as we know. But Jordan Mailata yesterday said he was one of the people that had a conversation with Nick Sirianni. He said, yeah, it was tough, but it sucked. Like, he wanted to go for the record. We also have Jalen Carter talking about informing his mom that he made the Pro Bowl and how she just lost her damn mind. How awesome is that? And Zack Baun literally, zero exaggeration, actually happened, laughed at the Pro Bowl condition in his contract, Pro Bowl, what do you call it? Incentive in his contract. Laughed at it. When he came to Philadelphia, they handed him a pen, and he's just like, okay, yeah, it's my name, Zack Baun. All right, cool. Boop. Oh, this part down here about the Pro Bowl? What? That's all right, sure, sign here. Boop. And he's in the Pro Bowl. Literally laughed at it twice. Laughed at it yesterday, and then laughed at it when he actually signed the contract. So we got all that to get into. Also, if you're lucky, you went to bed and didn't even acknowledge the Sixers playing the Warriors last night. You just didn't even acknowledge it. The loss to the Sacramento Kings was the worst loss of the season. Falling apart the way they did. They had it in hand, and they let it all fall apart in the final 3 minutes and 30 seconds of that game. Cool. This loss to the Warriors was the most embarrassing loss of the season. Paul George played. Came down on his back, 24 hours. They decided it's still good to go. He goes out and plays. Doesn't play terrible. Actually, I thought he hustled his ass off last night. Joel Embiid played. Mostly in the third quarter, but he played. Tyrese Maxey played. Couldn't throw the ball in the ocean from a boat, but he played. They lost by 34 points. They trailed by 36 at one point. In the last 52 minutes that the Sixers have been playing basketball, they have been outscored, 49-0? No, more than that. That's 59-0. That's pretty terrible. They've been outscored, not to nothing, but they've been outscored by 59 points is what I'm saying. That's terrible. Dreadful, awful, disgusting. And I watched it all. And when it was done, I sat right here at this very desk, and I did my my postcast for Locked On Sports Philadelphia. And it was somewhat therapeutic. And then I did some editing. I made a better version of this. There you go. And then I made a continuous this. Yeah, that actually goes on for 2.5 hours. Vic Fangio just making meatballs. So if I just need a minute to... Oh, I should also say that as far as the Sixers went in the loss, Joel Embiid scored 30 points in, should be 28 points in 31 minutes. He had 14 rebounds. I call those hollow numbers. We'll get into why. But, you know, if you just think about the numbers Joel Embiid had and you
take away the scoreboard,
then they won. If you just take away the scoreboard and like the 8 of 8 threes that Steph Curry made in last night's game, and you take away the fact that the Sixers lost the first quarter by 15 points, just take all that away.
take away the scoreboard,
and they won. So there you go. We have reason to be excited. I am, in all seriousness, I am excited to watch this Eagles game coming up on Sunday at 1 o'clock against the Giants. I am not excited at all that Jalen Hurts is still in concussion protocol. That's crazy. But I am extremely excited to watch Tanner McKee, most likely, with Kenny Pickett still being on the mend as well. Tanner McKee getting the start against the New York Giants coming up Sunday at 1 o'clock. I'm literally excited to see that. I think the kid can throw it very well. Seth, one of the things that, like, I watched him in the preseason. I watched Tanner McKee in the preseason. I went, oh, this guy can sling it. Like, I'm ready for him to take the next step. Like, I want to watch him take that next step. Now, if you remember going into last week's game, my take on it was, yeah, I think Tanner McKee, if he does start or would get the opportunity, would do well. But in a division clinching game against the Cowboys at home, I didn't really feel like that was the time to be like, yeah, I'm sure Tanner will be fine. I felt like it was the time to go, yeah, let's go with the guy that's played in 29 games already at the NFL level, a guy that's 3 games over 500 as a starting quarterback in the NFL. Let's go with that guy. And then, you know, if Tanner McKee gets an opportunity to be on the field, this was my take, he'll be great. Now, Seth Joyner was one of the people that was really drilling it home for me to be like, you know what, Tanner McKee should be starting. Kenny Pickett did not win the job out of training camp, and I agree with that. I thought Tanner McKee won. Kenny Pickett did not win, but they gave it to Kenny Pickett. So I was eager still to see Tanner McKee, though I would not have started him in that game against the Cowboys. So what does Tanner McKee do? He goes in, he completes 3 passes, 2 of them are for touchdowns, and almost did not have 1 incompletion. He was almost a perfect 3 for 3 with 2 touchdown passes because A.J. Brown, it was a great throw to A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown just couldn't get his foot down in bounds. And then he goes back to him a minute later, boom, touchdown. The only incompletion he had was on a ball that he put in a good spot and just whatever. A little timing, I guess, was off. But either way, Tanner McKee played a very good, brief game. Now it looks like he's going to get the start against the New York Giants. I want to see 4 quarters of this. And I want to see Tanner McKee put on such great film, put such great film together that the Eagles could trade him for like a 2nd-round pick. Like, I want to see that happen. I want to see the old A.J. Feely. That's what I want to see. A.J. Feely plays well. He plays a little bit. Oh, let's trade him to the Miami Dolphins for a 2nd-round pick. That's still burned in my brain, folks. It's still burned in my brain. Let's get into it all, shall we? Let's go. I'll save the Sixers for last, just so I can marvel at your Philadelphia Eagles and how much I love this team. I'm going to start it off with Jalen Carter. Get the news yesterday that he has made his first Pro Bowl. Fletcher Cox, gone. Jalen Carter's got to step up. No one's coming through that door, folks. Fletcher Cox isn't walking through that door. You know who is? Jalen Carter. And he's walking through that door into a Pro Bowl season. This is him on Getting the News and telling mom.
It really hit when I called my mom and I told my mom, and I heard her reaction. Heard my brother, my dad, my aunties, and you know, that's when it hit. And then coming in, just getting it from everybody, hearing everybody say, you know, I can't be great without the greatness of others, and it's showing. You know, I appreciate DNs, I appreciate the deep tackles, the DB, I appreciate the offense, everybody just being so cool. You know, that's a big moment for me. I love it.
you with your mom's reaction. What was her reaction?
She was yelling. She was just loud. Like after I said I couldn't speak no more. I had to be like, hold up, I'll call you back, man. She was going crazy. She was loud. I don't know if she was around somebody, but I heard a couple voices in the back, but she was just yelling. Like
Picture the greatest news. Just imagine the greatest news you ever told your mom. For a lot of us, it's telling her that you're expecting your first kid. Okay, losing her damn mind. All this. Imagine. Just take yourself away from the idea of a football player, and think about it like this. Things were really sketchy surrounding Jalen Carter when he was drafted, and the questions still remained when he was there on the board, and the Eagles got him. And they weren't sure of who they were getting. A lot of people weren't sure of who the Eagles had just drafted. The Eagles seemed pretty sure of who they just drafted, but a lot of people did not seem sure of who the Eagles just drafted. Is he going to be a head case? Is he going to be a distraction? Is he going to be committed? You have Nick Sirianni talking about weight. You have him talking about weight and just dedication to the game. Work ethic. He overslept and missed a team meeting. What are the Eagles doing? And you know who's hearing all of that? Mama's hearing that. And then you get to tell her that you're one of the best in the NFL. Now, did we need a title? No, just like Jordan Mailata, we don't need a title. We know he's one of, if not the best. Literally rated the best offensive lineman, not even tackle, but best offensive lineman in football. He's not even in the anyway. Ridiculous. But he gets to tell his mom that news. Imagine imagine being on that call. First off, my mom would kill me if I was like, I gotta call you back. But he's like, Mom, I gotta call you back. So extremely happy about that. Absolutely love watching. I don't know why it's just started coming out. The body bag game came up in my algorithm on YouTube. So I was watching it, and I'm watching Jerome Brown, and I'm watching Reggie White, and I'm watching my man Seth Joyner, and I'm just watching that era of football, and I'm just looking at Jerome Brown, and in my head, I'm just thinking of the comparisons of Jalen Carter. And you hate to put the comparison on that because of pressure or whatever, but man, same thing I was saying about Jalen Carter last week, and even the week before, you would say about Jerome Brown, which is they might not win every battle, like they might not just throw the offensive lineman out of their way, but they do a lot. They might not do that every play, but every play they're in control of the situation. They're taking the offensive lineman left, right, putting them on roller skates, bowling them over. Every single play, they're the one dictating where that O-lineman is going. And I could say that same exact thing about Jalen Carter. You can watch that if you go back and you watch the old footage of Jerome Brown. Very similar. And to see in his second year, Jalen Carter get that acknowledgement is a wonderful thing. It's a beautiful thing. But by far, there were two that really jumped out at me as far as Cam Jurgens and Zack Baun went about getting the news about being Pro Bowlers. Cam Jurgens has been compared, and I even did a bit on it on this show about how, whoa, hold on, Cam Jurgens, you're not Jason Kelce? Hold on, are you married to a lady named Kylie? Do you have a famous brother that's a tight end? Is he dating a famous singer? You know, oh, wait, no, you're Cam Jurgens. You're not Jason Kelce? I know, hilarious. But I absolutely loved this for Cam Jurgens yesterday. Cam Jurgens addressing the media, gets asked a Jason Kelce question. And he talks about kind of how he knew when he was tracking in the right direction that he was, first off, playing well, B, playing well enough to not get Jason Kelce questions, and C, playing well enough to make the Pro Bowl. Here's how it went for Cam Jurgens yesterday.
I'm not really trying to prove anything or show anything. I'm just trying to be myself and play up to my standard and get better every day. And I feel like I did a good job this year of doing that and just getting better each and every game. And, that's what I was setting out to do. I feel like before the season started, it was like every day I was getting questioned what it was like to take over for Kelce, this and that. And it's just like every single day, same question over and over from you guys. And then the season started, and I feel like I was playing good, and I didn't get a single question about that until just now. So, yeah, I think I I feel like I did good my first year. There's still room to improve and do a lot better, but, you know, I'm happy.
When you look back at that, what do you think allowed you to not?
I didn't get asked that question. I didn't get a single Jason Kelsey question until you just now. Wait a minute, I'm not getting any more Jason Kelsey questions. I must be doing all right. My only question, because going into the season, this was my take on Cam Jurgens going into the year. I have zero doubt in my mind that Cam Jurgens physically can do everything Jason Kelsey could do. Now, you'd say physically, that's everything, right? Well, absolutely not. Communication with the quarterback. Bad snaps? Nope. Shifting protections? Being on the same page? Not a problem. His first year as a starting center in the NFL, he's already up there with Ragnow. Like, that's it. He's already up. Jason, the Eagles haven't missed a beat. Fletcher Cox goes away. Jalen Carter steps up. Jason Kelsey also retires. I feel like I see more of him than ever. And all of a sudden, Cam Jurgens steps in, and he's a Pro Bowler. How do you – that's it. Two great stories just in and of themselves in-house. And the Eagles went out in the offseason to bring in a linebacker that was originally brought to Vic Fangio as a edge rusher, outside linebacker type guy, potentially a special teamer like he was in New Orleans. And Vic Fangio looks at that film and goes, edge rusher, outside guy? No, I have an inside. I have an inside guy. Fast forward 6 months, that inside guy is now a Pro Bowler. And what's so amazing is that Zack Baun, when he was being interviewed, or when he was sitting down to sign his contract, Zack Baun laughed. I'll let him tell the story, because I think it was Ruben Frank of NBC Sports Philly that asked the question, hey, you're a Pro Bowler. Did you see that coming?
Yeah, I did. Obviously a huge honor, something that you think about, and honestly something that was in my contract when I signed here, and I just kind of like laughed at the fact that incentive was in my contract, because I didn't think that was necessarily a goal of mine. Obviously it's a goal of mine, but I didn't think I could reach it at this point in my career. But to be able to be voted by fans, players around the league, and coaches, it really means a lot to me and a lot to the guys on this defense. It just shows that what this defense is and the type of guys we have.
He leads the Philadelphia Eagles in tackles this year with 151. He has forced fumbles. He has gotten tackles for loss. He has batted passes. He has been everything that you would have hoped for a linebacker. Has an interception as well. The Eagles better not mess this up. Like, TJ Edwards turned himself into a pretty decent linebacker when he was here in Philadelphia. Zack Baun has turned himself into a Pro Bowl linebacker in Philadelphia. And he was a guy that Howie Roseman looked at and said, there's something here. I guess he wasn't sure what it was just yet. And Vic Fangio was like, I know what it is. It's a Pro Bowl linebacker. There's stories that have come out about Zack Baun sitting in the parking lot when he was with the Saints and just wondering what's next, and if this is going to be his NFL career, if this is it, knowing that he had untapped potential. Well, Vic Fangio and the Eagles saw that potential, and they made it blossom. And I don't think you can let this guy walk out the door. If he has fit this scheme, if he has fit the coaching staff, if he has fit the locker room so well, then you can't let him go anywhere. Now, what's it going to cost money-wise? Well, if it's anything around the dollars of TJ Edwards, and it's probably going to be considerably more than that, the Eagles need to figure it out. Somebody's got to get restructured, and you got to make sure Zack Baun's playing in the middle of this defense, along with the Kobe Dean. So he got asked a question yesterday. Dave Uram, KYW News Radio, asked him a question about what he's going to do going forward. It's a contract year, 1-year deal with the Birds. How do you handle that contract pressure?
I think the connection in this locker room kind of really draws my attention away from the future that might be for me, and just taking things one game at a time and really soaking this experience in, and just taking things one game at a time, one practice at a time. Honestly, that's what I've been doing this whole time. Don't really think about it.
They always talk about in the Eagles locker room, you can't be great without the greatness of others, something that Nick Sirianni has really drilled into this team, and you've heard it just throughout the locker room. Jalen Carter mentioned it yesterday as well, can't be great without the greatness of others. He's literally getting asked about the contract that he's been waiting his entire career for. That's the question. How do you not think about the fact that you played your entire career for an opportunity like this, not just to prove that you're good at what you do, but you're also worth doing what you do for a franchise? He got a question later in the press conference too, later in his media session regarding the contract, and it's similar thing. Like, you control what you can control. You control what you can control. Another thing, Nick Sirianni and Jeff Stoutland and Bobby King have really drilled into these guys. You control what you can control. So listening to Zack Baun talk about a contract and say that his focus is more so on the connection in the locker room, I don't know if there's any better way to depict how tight-knit this group is. And I feel like every single day there's something else that comes out about how this locker room just gets it and how they root for one another and how they pull for one another. And every single day something else comes out about how close this team is. Watching Jordan Mailata yesterday talk about how happy he is for Lane Johnson and Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens, and how grateful he was to have time with Jason Kelce, how grateful that he is that, talk about Zack Baun just getting some videotape watched of video, just watching some, getting some tape watched by Vic Fangio and changing his entire life. Imagine being Jordan Mailata, where you're a rugby player in Australia, and you're like, this American football looks pretty cool. You meet Jeff Stoutland at an international training thing, and they go, he goes, yeah, this guy's got something. And then the Eagles draft you, and you've never played football, and then they mold you into the best offensive lineman in the NFL. Jordan Mailata got emotional yesterday. And at one point he had to stop and go, see, right there, you guys almost got me. And he was talking about how Jason Kelce and Jeff Stoutland have drilled it into his head that you can only control what you can control. And when he opened up, I think this is it. Yeah, he opened up the media session with kind of like, hey, what are you going to do? Like, what do you guys want to talk about?
When is it not to get into the Pro Bowl after the year? Man, that's out of my control, Rube. I can't control that. But I will say this, it's not something that I prioritized or looked forward to. You guys know that. And another thing is, man, I know when I look back from where I was last year to where I am this year, I know I'm on the right path. I'm on the right path. So, I think our big mantra here has always been control what you can control. Can't control that. So it is what it is.
All right. It is what it is. Fine. So you're not getting the outside adulation. What about the inside adulation? And you want to talk about needing or wanting a good perspective in life? Jordan Mailata, man, he's becoming what's the Confucius? This is the right perspective to have when it comes to the outside noise and not getting that just due from the outside voice.
Maybe year 8, 10, 12.
Like I said, if the recognition comes from outside this building, that's I'm not going to ignore it. Like I just said, I don't seek it. I don't look for it. The only validation and recognition I need is from my coach and the guys I play with, because I couldn't give a damn if Joe Smo thinks I'm top A outside this building if the guy next to me doesn't trust me. That's bad ball. So that's the only recognition I seek, man. And Lane and I have had our chats. Lane always comes to me and he's like, same thing happened to me, brother. Like, just keep grinding. I'm like, Lane, I'm good. I'm telling you, man, I'm good.
What good, what good is being a Pro Bowler? What good is being an All-Pro if Landon Dickerson doesn't trust him? What good is it if Jalen Hurts doesn't feel like his blind side is protected? What good is it if Saquon Barkley running to the left doesn't have trust that Jordan Mailata is going to pancake that edge rusher? To put it in terms like that is a beautiful thing. And to put it in terms of that's bad ball, if I could be a Pro Bowler. Now, you could also say that one goes with the other. If you're a multi-time Pro Bowler, you're the best tackle in the league, then you're going to get that trust. Well, obviously. Well, he doesn't have any of those accolades. He has none of those titles. And yet, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, Landon Dickerson, Nick Sirianni, Kellen Moore, Jeff Stoutland, trust him. And I got to say this as well, because I was in the locker room a lot in the first 2 years of Jordan Mailata being a pro. And he did everything right. And I don't mean like just talking to the media. I mean like listening to the offensive lineman talk to him ask them questions. You would just hear things in the locker room of how dedicated he was, how this isn't just some, wild ride that he's going to be going on in the NFL because he just wants to be some guy off the bench or anything like that and just happy to be here. No, he wanted to be great. And I know, and I've made a big deal of this, Jeffrey Lurie, when they signed Jalen Hurts to the contract that they did, he talked about how he has a phenomenal dedication to perfection. And I think the same thing can be said for Jordan Mailata. When you think about never playing football before, before he was in the NFL before he ever played football. Like, think about that, all right? The only footage they had of him at the draft in Dallas after the Eagles won the Super Bowl was him playing rugby. And all our minds went crazy. Like, whoa, what if you just give him the football one time on some kind of trick play? No, he wasn't here for a gimmick. He was here to become the best left tackle in football. And unfortunately, he has not even been given so much as a Pro Bowl nod to help back up that claim. Absolutely insane. But you got to love his attitude about it. And I love every second of the guy's attitude since he got here in Philadelphia. So I couldn't be happier that at least people are acknowledging the fact that he was snubbed. And I couldn't be happier that his attitude has not changed one bit since he first set foot in that locker room. I also love the fact that he wanted the same thing I wanted, which was Saquon Barkley to play. Here is Jordan Mailata on how much it sucks that they're not playing Saquon Barkley in that game.
Tough conversations. Those tough conversations to have. Talk to Nick, talk to Shay, talk to Lyman, and I think Nick made the best decision in terms of our goals as a team. It sucks, but again, that is the hat that Nick wears. That he has to make that call, and as players, we have to respect that call. You can have all the conversations you want, but at the end of the day, that's Nick's decision, and we have to respect that. That's just the bottom line.
Yep, but I love that he still acknowledged that it sucks. I don't know. I haven't heard from Lane John, or I haven't heard from Landon Dickerson. I haven't heard from Cam Jurgens. Didn't get into it yesterday. Mekhi Becton, he was just crying. I just saw that footage. He was crying on the sidelines when they clinched the NFC East. That's pretty awesome. Even though they already clinched the playoff berth, he'd never been in the playoffs before. I guess he cried more at the NFC East clinching. I don't know. Maybe it was the Kelly Green jerseys. I don't know. But all I've heard so far is that Jordan Mailata is the only one that has come out and been like, yeah, I wanted that record, man. Let's go. Also, yesterday, by the way, somebody mentioned in the comments, like nobody, or they said in the comments, and I completely forgot about Terrell Davis, like an idiot. Of the guys that have run for 2,000 yards, like who's won the Super Bowl? Terrell Davis, obviously, has won the Super Bowl. Anyway, I'm with Jordan Mailata. I wanted to see them break the record. But Nick Sirianni's job is to put his players in the best possible position to have success, not to break records. Put the team in the best possible position. And guaranteeing, at least from a football perspective, you can't help it if Saquon Barkley, I don't even want to say it, but as I said earlier, yesterday actually, the most dangerous thing that these players are going to do is play the game. So if he can not have him play a game and all but guarantee that he's going to be healthy for week 1 of the postseason, then that's putting your team in the best possible position to have success, to win football games. So the Eagles thought this was interesting going into Sunday's game, 1 o'clock against the New York Giants. 1 o'clock on CBS. The Eagles going into that game, believe it or not, at home against the Giants are only 3-point favorites to win that game. The Giants are coming into this game after a 45-point performance against the Indianapolis Colts. How about that? Drew Lock slinging it for 309 yards and 2 touchdowns, 2 of them to Malik Neighbors in that game for 171 yards, 7 catches. You also have their running back Tracy go out there. He's able to put up 59 yards on the ground, not his best performance, but still a threat. And they put up 45 points on the Indianapolis Colts. They're just 3-13 on the season now, and that's who the Eagles are going to be facing. The game means nothing wins and loss-wise other than Nick Sirianni could match his already set franchise record of 14 wins in a single season. It's something he's already done, but he could do it again. He had made the tough decision to not have Saquon Barkley, so this is where you're going to be seeing the potential of Kenny Gainwell being the number one guy. While I'm talking about running backs, let me just mention this real quick and step away from this preview I'm putting together for you, or I put together for you. There's the story of the Cowboys letting Ezekiel Elliott go and the potential of the Eagles picking up Ezekiel Elliott. At first, I said, absolutely not. No, thank you. No way. I want no business of a Cowboy being on this Eagles team. And then I thought about it. How fantastic would it be that a Dallas Cowboy had to leave the Cowboys to get a Super Bowl ring? How amazing would it be that the Cowboys drafted Ezekiel Elliott so high, submitted to his holdout, and made him the highest paid or one of the highest paid running backs in the NFL. And then he obviously doesn't resign. He then goes back to the Cowboys, then has to leave the Cowboys to come to Philadelphia to win a Super Bowl. I want that headline. Don't you, little Toots?
How did you know I was here?
How did I know you were here? You were walking right in front of me. Daddy's on a roll right now. I'm ripping the Cowboys, man.
What are we? What?
That's the GPS. That's so high. I know how much time I have to get to Fox 29.
Wait, they're going to Fox today?
Yes, I have to do a TV hit today.
Yeah,
that's right.
Are you going to be back?
By the time you get on the bus?
Wait, I'm going to school today.
Yeah, dude, it's Friday.
No.
Yeah. You're going to
No.
school today.
No.
Yes,
No.
that's going to happen.
No.
She's actually good at math. My wife and I have no idea where that comes from, but you're actually good at math, sweetheart.
I'm
So
not.
yeah, you're pretty good at math.
I'm not.
Okay. Do you want to hang here for a second while I do this little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you stealing my water? Did you come down here to steal my water?
No.
Takes a sip of Daddy's water. Thanks, Toots. But anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the Cowboys. I would love to see the Eagles add Ezekiel Elliott, if only, even not to play him, just to give him a ring. That would be the greatest thing. Just hey, you need to leave Dallas and win with us? Oh yeah, no way. Anyway, so that'd be pretty funny. All right, so back to the preview. Tyler Nubin, their line or safety, 13 games so far this season. He's got 98 tackles, 4 of them tackles for loss. Just saw Brian Burns still listed as questionable, but is expected to play coming up on Sunday. 8 tackles on the season, or excuse me, 8 sacks on the season. A couple other guys to look for. I mentioned Drew Lock's numbers, but him and Malik Neighbors very much on the same page, as would be evidence of the 171 receiving yards. Wan'Dale Robinson, 83 receptions on the season, 656 yards, 3 touchdowns. Someone else to keep an eye on. Tyrone Tracy I talked about. Devontae Smith likely not playing. Would love to see him get a couple of more yards, but 833 yards on the season, 8 touchdowns. Also, Josh Sweat, 8 sacks on the season. Would love to see him get 2 more. And here's what I want to see. I want to see Tanner McKee lead this offense of backups to victory. I want to see Jahan Dotson look like a first-round pick, and I want to see Tanner McKee make him look that good. What did you?
I got to read it.
You're going to read that book? Do you know what that book is?
Pizza.
This is the book my daughter just literally. Yeah, go ahead. Read this Italian cookbook.
Pizza.
Yeah, that is pizza. Well, no, that's lasagna.
Bleh.
You like lasagna. You actually do like lasagna because you love that cheese. There you go. Look at that. Penne. You love penne. In the marinara?
I don't talk about Larry.
Anyway, here's what I want to say. I want to see Tanner McKee lead this offensive backups to victory. That's what I want to see. And then, watch the wire. Watch the wire. Thank you. I think that just, hopefully we didn't just get knocked off. There we go. I want to see Tanner McKee lead this team to victory, and I want to see, if he plays, Quinyon Mitchell get his first interception of the season. Let's be a problem for Drew Lock. Let's be a problem. All right. I still have the Eagles winning, by the way. I still have the Eagles winning. Because Tanner McKee is going to sling it. The Eagles are never winning?
No.
Eagles won 10 in a row this season, Toots. Yeah, I forgot.
Wow, lemon. There's fruit cake in here.
All right.
Fruit cake.
There you go. How did you recognize that? You never even had fruitcake.
I have it at my school.
Oh, it's goose.
That's why.
It's goose. All right. Briefly. The 76ers. Did I lose you already? Yeah. The 76ers last night, watching the entire game, if you look at the box score, so I always like to tell you, numbers never lie, but they sure as heck can deceive. This is the box score from last night. You have Paul George, 19 points. You have Tyrese Maxey, 14 points, so that's not a brag, especially on 4 or 13 shooting. Paul George, 19 points on 12 shots. That's pretty decent. 3 for 6 from beyond the arc. Yes, please, and thank you. And only 2 fouls. For a guy who's been in foul trouble for, 3 or 4 straight games, that's a lot. Or that's a good thing, I should say. Only 2 fouls. But Joel Embiid, this is where the numbers deceive, okay? 28 points on 19 shots. He was 8 of 19, 31 minutes. The more impressive thing for me for Joel Embiid continues to be the 31 minutes. Joel Embiid had 13 points in the first half. Here's what was so frustrating about Joel Embiid's game last night. He goes out there and he gets D'd up on Jackson Davis of the Warriors. Trace Jackson Davis. I hope I'm saying his name right. He does not take him as 6'8", 6'9" to the hole. He doesn't take him to the block. He continuously settles for jump shots. He goes for a multi-pivot move on Trace Jackson Davis as opposed to just going up strong, trying to get fouled, and throw it down. That's throughout the entire first half. When he decides late in that first half that he wants to be aggressive, the man that he goes up against is Draymond Green. Now, Trace Jackson Davis, not a defensive player of the year. Draymond Green, a defensive player of the year and a veteran, and can be a bit of a bully. And he can also be smart in trying to draw a foul. I think he flopped personally, but hey, he got the call. Why are you trying to play bully ball against a guy that can bully you back when you're playing Draymond Green? Why aren't you playing bully ball against a kid you can bully? Get it? It was mind-numbing watching that game. You got a 24-year-old, 6'9", 6'8", power forward going out there. And I'm not talking, I said 24-year-old. You're a 5-year-old. The peanut gallery, guys, am I right? Oh, goodness gracious. All right, do you want to see this? All right, the little Toots wants you to see this picture of her eating federal donuts. There we go. That's your first birthday. That's when you turn 1.
Wait. I didn't even know that.
Okay.
Look at my foot.
I see your foot. Both your feet. So anyway, Joel Embiid. 13 points in the first half. 15 points in the third quarter when the rails were absolutely coming off. The Sixers looked absolutely sloppy. The way to sum up the game is when you worry about your team playing a back-to-back at the end of a long road trip. Now, they still have one more game coming up against the Nets. That's coming up Saturday night at 6 o'clock, and that's in Brooklyn. But the Sixers have one more game on the road, then they're back home. Their last 6 games will have been on the road. 6-game road trip. They just finished the West Coast portion of that trip. So Joel Embiid looked tired. Tyrese Maxey looked tired. Paul George actually played with some energy. But they played as bad as you could possibly play on the second leg of a back-to-back. What you worry about with a back-to-back, this was as bad as it could possibly be. This, I don't know what this is. I think you painted this in school. This is a kitty cat.
I did.
Kitty cat, I don't know, jewelry holder, I hope. I hope it's on an ashtray.
It's an ashtray.
You did go to school in Philly. All right. Well, yes?
It says my name on the back.
Oh, this is from your school in the city. Yeah. Yes, it does. It says your name, your middle initial on the back. There you go. There you go. So anyway, the Sixers suck at basketball. All right. Let me tell you about the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app to your phone, create an account, use promo code Farsi, and get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. That's the Game Time. You can't interrupt the read, sweetheart. That's how we get the good mac and cheese, remember? Download the Game Time app to your phone, create an account, and use promo code Farsi, get $20 off your first purchase. Want to go to the game, want to go to the concert, want to go to the comedy show? Game Time app has you covered, especially when you use promo code Farsi on the Game Time app. So download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code Farsi for all your ticket needs. And also don't forget about Game Time picks. Filter out all the fluff on the Game Time app and get right down to it. The best seats at the best prices when you use the Game Time picks feature. How about PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs? That's PHLSportsNation.com. Let's get to the chat check. Wine, Niners wine. Good morning. Eagles are flying. Phillies kind of exist. Flyers are trying. And we them Sixers. How about that? Need an update on the Wings. Wings have been winning some lacrosse games, folks. This has been fun. Robert Driscoll, good morning. Tate, good morning. Sean Gillespie, what's popping? The Latin Furno, I love it. Mailata is literally the best offensive lineman in the entire NFL. Ridiculous. Didn't make the Pro Bowl. Hopefully he makes first team All-Pro to show how bad the Pro Bowl voters got it wrong. I hope so too. Sean Kilrain, hello. Jason, what's going on? Jason A. Morning, everyone. Can't believe the regular season is over already. Sunday season goes by so fast. Yes, it does. Brian Mick, what's going on? Pro Bowl is nothing. Those All-Pro selections are all that matter. I concur. Please let Jalen be healthy. Had a depressing yet strange dream. Ugh. Don't want to know, Sean, but thank you. Charles Dead, hello. Players remain in concussion protocol until they players remain in concussion protocol until they are tested. Hurts is good to go. They just aren't testing him until after this game to avoid. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm just hoping that after this game, it's like, oh, Jalen Hurts is miraculously healthy. Go figure. Mike Fuji, hello. April, hello, April. Fuji, hello again. Need Mailata movie? I need a Mailata movie too. Jose plays. Front office decision, not a Nick Sirianni decision. Probably. Muggsy82, I agree. When they pulled him in the Cowboys game after 2000, I knew the decision was already made. There you go. Charles said, Farsi, telling Lil Toots to watch The Wire is funny. Well, you almost hit the wire, man. You almost knocked me off. Man. Happy New Year's. Thank you very much. Same to you, Wine Niners Wine. Dad? Star of the show demands her time to shine, says Sean Gillespie. Yes, what? Yes.
I found my gingerbread house.
You found your gingerbread house. Yeah, you begged for that forever, and it's been down here for a month.
Of a year.
A year? Okay, we got to go over it. All right, anyway. Thanks everybody in the chat. You guys are great as per usual. Don't forget about PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience. Eagles win this game 24-21. 24-21. Eagles win this game. I got to go do Fox. I'll see you guys Saturday night after the Eagles game or after the Sixers game. Sunday on the Seth Joyner Show YouTube channel. And then back with you guys Monday morning. See you then. Say bye.
Bye.